Yo, what's good? This is Casey for L King Self for Life Wrestling Takes, and you're now watching Casey for L Wrestling Takes Show. What's going on, world? It's your boy KCFL King Self for Life, here to give you my honest takes about Smackdown and AEWRampage. Now, before we begin this review, yes, Tony Khan was clowning again. I've said what I said about him, and I stand on everything I said. That man needs to put his phone down, and he needs to go ahead and just quit worrying about what a hater has to say. But the fact that he acknowledged that the WWE shields, the people who land on the WWE flag, that only want WWE to be around and don't care about no other promotion, he actually acknowledged that they are basically destroying them. Why would you do that? That tells me that you're not built for this. You are not built to be on social media. You're not built to be a wrestler promoter. That's basically what it's saying. It's saying you are not built for that, and that's sad, because I want him and everybody in AEW to do well, just like I want this guy right here and his squad to do well. I mean, listen, when wrestling as a whole is doing well, we as wrestling fans are eating. Because guess what? We get to do this. This is what we do. Now, I don't get paid off of this like a lot of these cats are, because a lot of these people have partnership deals with YouTube and everything. But like I say, do I inspire to get there? Hey, Lord willing, that's all I got to say. But as of right now, I just do this because I have a passion for it. And plus, there's a lot of clowns in the IWC that really don't want to speak on the real true issues that's really going on. Like, I try to go behind the scenes. I go beyond everything. I go beyond what goes on inside the ring. I try to tell you what's really going on. And looking at this cat right here, we're going to break down what popped off tonight. We're going to break down everything. I'm going to talk about everything from the return of Roman Reigns to the end of him spearing LA Knight. We're going over all that. Even with Jade pulling up, looking at you know who, Miss Charlotte Flair. I said, the agenda has begun, ladies and gentlemen. And fools online talk about, oh, where Charlotte can't squash Jade. You don't know this fool right here. You don't know who he is, ladies and gentlemen. You just don't know. But we're going to break all that stuff down, ladies and gentlemen. So let's go ahead and break it down. Live from Oklahoma, Tulsa, Oklahoma. Salute to the homie Mill. That's where he from. We break all that stuff down. So let's see. Where we at? So Roman come out there. John Cena's out there. And they confront John, and Roman say, "Hey, John, when you in my ring, since you on my show, you know what you need to do. Tulsa, Oklahoma, acknowledge me." He said, "I'm here to acknowledge you, all right, but I'm not here to challenge you." And he told him, he said, "The only reason you here is because I wasn't here." I said, "No, technically that's not true. Fruity Pebbles pulled up because there was a writer's strike, and they wasn't doing no Hollywood shows, they wasn't doing no TV shows, so he had nothing else better to do but come on back home to where he was birthed." Like I said, WWE created Fruity Pebbles. We wouldn't know who Fruity Pebbles was if it wasn't for the WWE. So that's basically the real truth why he was back. But since the writer's strike is over, he get ready to disappear. So before he disappears, he says, "You think I'm here to fight you? I'm not here to fight you. I'm here to acknowledge you. But just what? I got somebody else who want to challenge you right now." And LA Knight's music went off. So you got Paul Heyman and Solo Sikoa sitting out there. LA Knight come out here. Now, personally, I'm be honest with you. This right here tells me Roman Reigns is pretty much going to annihilate that man, and the LA Knight push is coming to a close, ladies and gentlemen. Now, the best part of this whole back and forth was when they zoomed in on LA Knight's specs, and you can see his sunglasses. You can see Roman Reigns' reflection in them. I thought that was a pretty cool sight. A lot of people online was going nuts about it. I thought it was pretty solid. I liked it. Cool. And as he was trying to talk, Jimmy Uso came out of nowhere and basically tried to lay him out, but then Fruity Pebbles laid him out, took him out. So Solo was like looking like he was ready to do something. He thumbed John Cena. So obviously he told him, "I want to fight you tonight, man." Matchup was set. Main event, LA Knight, Solo Sikoa. Good. So let's see. We get this matchup. Didn't care nothing about it. Pretty Deadly has returned because my man his shoulder is back. I thought they ripped this segment straight off of you-know-who, Roderick Strong, chilling in the doggone wheelchair. I'm like, same old, same old. But anyway, you knew Pete Dunne and Ridge Holland wasn't doing nothing. Pretty Deadly had to get the victory because they just coming back. And obviously this is who they last was in the ring with before my man's got hurt. But it is what it is on that. Like I said, ladies and gentlemen, I'm not really on the Pretty Deadly bandwagon. I never really was. I personally feel like they got called up a little bit too early. To me, like I said, they pretty much the Young Bucks meets Griff Garrison and Brian Pillman Jr., who is now officially part of NXT. They've been giving him little vignettes. He's going by the name Lexus King. We're going to see how that turned out. I'm not really finna take a dump on it right now. Obviously, they trying to make him, quote unquote, not be his father, but I hate to say it, the man was wearing the same exact gear that his dad was wearing. So we're going to see how this stuff turned out. It might be pretty good. They might do a better job than they did in AEW. We'll see. But that's that. They beat him. So we get Carlito and Bobby Lashley talking backstage. And he says, "Good to see you." Yeah, he said, "Good to see you too." But he said, "What you want?" He said, "Hey, let me tell you something. How about you and me face each other?" He said, "It's cool for Carlito to be back here." He said, "Yeah, and it would be real cool for my first match to be back on SmackDown against you next week." And then next thing you know, here come the Hurt Business from Make-A-Wish. Yes, I'm calling them that. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm be 100% with you. I am not feeling this faction between Bobby Lashley and the Street Profits. I know fools probably going to call me a buck dancer, but I don't give a crap. They not doing nothing, ladies and gentlemen. They are just listen, they turned him heel, and they're still looking like jobbers. They feel like jobbers. They don't feel important at all. They don't. And I'm like, that's why you can't trust these fools in the eat with us. You can't. The presentation feels like this is the Hurt Business from Make-A-Wish. This is the Make-A-Wish Foundation version of the Hurt Business. And I'm like, am I supposed to get behind it? I can't get behind it. I want to get behind it, but I can't. Because you already screwed up the Hurt Business 1.0. Hurt Business 2.0 is Hurt Business from Make-A-Wish. Is Wish. I'm telling you. They jumped Carlito and all of this, but I'm like, so then you seen Adam Pearce and Jordan come out of nowhere trying to hold them back and all of this. I'm like, I don't know, man. Like I said, man, it's just the way how they're presenting things. It just feels lame. I'm sorry, it just feels lame as heck. So we got Bailey going against Zelina. This is like a 2-second match. Zelina gets rolled up by Bailey. Great. So now we got backstage segment. Now listen, this whole food. Let me tell y'all something. The bloodline, I'm telling you right now, it's good to see Roman. It's good to have Roman back. Paul Heyman looks like a kid in the candy store again. He said, it's good to have my chief back. You got Solo there, but now you got Jimmy right back in the good graces of Roman as if nothing really happened. I mean, what the clown is going on? It's like the bloodline storyline is all out of whack. It's all over the place. I'm telling you, it's like there's really no direction. There's absolutely no direction going on. I'm sitting up here watching this. I'm like, bro, what the clown are they trying to tell us? Like, he back. Like, Roman ain't finna beat the brakes off. I'm like, let me tell y'all something. You know how when you got like a game or something, ain't the name of the script is to get in the game, you had to get beat into the game, and then to get out of it, you got to get beat out of it. Well, they just escorted him back in like everything is all good. And he's sitting up there talking about everything is all good and all this stuff. Then he talk about, hey, I'm the quarterback, and you. He said, no, I'm the second string. He said, this stuff is crazy. I got Jimmy Uso back up here. I got Roman Reigns. I got Cody Rhodes and Jey Uso running around rapping on my show. I got LA Knight trying to challenge for my title. And what is this? So, like I said, I just talked about this matchup. It was like a two-minute match. And out of nowhere, Bailey wins 2 seconds, nothing. So we get Triple H coming out there to confront the crowd to give his doggone announcement. His announcement was pretty much bringing in Nick Aldis. Nick Aldis is the new official GM of SmackDown. Now, there was rumors going around that Nick Aldis was potentially going to come to SmackDown, but he was only going to be in creative. That was it. He wasn't going to wrestle no more, nothing like that. Well, you got that. Pretty much what's going on. He's the GM of SmackDown. Adam Pearce is going to be taking over Raw. Well, during this segment, this is when Dominique Mysterio came out there, and he confronted everybody. And here go Triple H. So when he came out there, y'all know how they be turning up the booze and all of that stuff. Triple H tried to make a wise crack as if that stuff is fake and that's only what you hear from the fans and everything. Like, man, stop it. H was capping his behind off. So Nick Aldis had told that man, hey, I'm a huge fan of your dad. You know, so he was pretty much complaining, talking about how come Jey Uso and Cody are on the show going against Austin and what you call it, the other clown, Miz 3.0, going at Grayson Waller. How did they get to jump the gun? And all? That's basically what he was complaining about. I'm like, I mean, it was a decent segment. I'm gonna be honest with you. Does it give off old school SmackDown and Raw vibes because they said it's going to be great? Adam Pearce and them told each other it's going to be great having great matches and let the competition look well and all this crazy stuff. I say, you know what? Look, I could say it's kind of like a throwback to how Raw and SmackDown used to be back in the ruthless aggression era. It might be good, it might be, but like I said, man, listen, concerning this company, man, it's always up for grabs. I mean, you know, you got your hardcore WWE shields they're gonna shield out and say that this show was fantastic and all of this, and this is. I'm like, we don't know. It could be. It has the potential of being somewhat decent, but I'm like, okay. Like I said. You know, and I seen Mickey James online talk about, hey, you know what, I might tune in to SmackDown tonight. I'm like, yeah, because, you know, Nick Aldis is her husband. You know, great. So that's that. So basically what this was the trade-off. So guess what? Everybody kept telling me that Cody Rhodes is eventually going to be the trade-off going to SmackDown. No. Kevin Owens has officially made his arrival to SmackDown. So guess what? Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens have been split up. Thanks to who? Cody Rhodes. But guess what? You guarantee you'll see Kevin Owens on Raw again. You'll see him. That's what I say. The brand split is pretty much a waste of time. It's a waste. It's a waste of time, ladies and gentlemen. It is a waste of time. So, yeah. So backstage, we got Nick Aldis talking to Chelsea Green and what's the young lady? I don't want to call her, you know. But yeah, the tag team champs that really don't mean nothing. But they were standing there, and she said some goofy stuff, and then next thing you know, Charlotte Flair walked up to him, and Charlotte Flair, and he told her, well, since you got screwed at the pay-per-view, you automatically get a rematch. You will be facing Io Sky next week. I said, well, ladies and gentlemen, the Io Sky experiment is over. Charlotte Flair is going to squash her like it's nobody's business. And guess what? You know who's going to be the reason why. Bayley going to cost her. The story sets itself up due to jealousy. Charlotte Flair is eventually getting ready to be, 16 time? Is it 16 or 17? I don't know what number we at. 16-time world champ. Great. Don't give a crap, but she's getting ready to win that championship. So as soon as we seen that, Triple H and guess who? Miss Jade Cargill pulled up, and the two of them looked at each other. Fans went ape. They went nuts. They went crazy. And I said, pump your brakes, ladies and gentlemen. This is where cats in the IWC need to freaking pump their brakes. You know dang well how they book us. And then the fact you got Triple H, old little geek behind, like coming out of nowhere. Hey, Charlotte, this is Jay, this is Charlotte. She said, it's great to finally meet you. She said, yep, great to meet you too. And then they just stared at each other and said, but we're going to get together real soon. She said, I bet. And she looked at her, and then she looked at her and walked off. I said, ladies and gentlemen, if they not telling you who Jade Cargill is going to be facing more than likely at WrestleMania, I don't know what. And guess what? Jade's not winning because we've seen this story 15 billion times. Charlotte's not going into WrestleMania to lose again, ladies and gentlemen. So for you fools that's giddy and like, oh, but she's being presented like a main star. She wasn't being presented like this in AEW. Yeah. But you know you're dealing with the Burial King, the Shovel King himself, and the Shovel Queen herself, Miss Android. And you already know the name of the game. When you get in there with Miss Charlotte, if your name is not Rhea Ripley, you got to do the job. Sorry, ladies and gentlemen. I'm sorry to bust your bubble. Like I said, you got these buck dancers and these other clowns online sitting up saying the most goofiest stuff. I've seen the timeline. They was jumping out of a doggone. I felt like they was jumping out of their phone with what they were saying online. I said, I ain't getting my hopes up. Y'all clowns, I'm not getting me. I'm like, no, buddy, I will not be fooled. I already know. I seen this. Look, the handwriting's on the wall. Salute to my main man, G Nation, that be telling everybody to calm down. You Wakanda Negroes need to calm the heck down. You know the script. You know what's going to happen. Don't play stupid. Every single one of us know what the script going to be when that time comes. We all know what the script going to be. Every single one of us. Don't play stupid. But this is what they're going to say. But she didn't do anything in AEW. She didn't do nothing. Yeah, we got on Tony Khan fault. Yeah, we got on his case. You looking at the main man that was getting on Tony Khan case while she was over in AEW land. And guess what? What you think I'm finna do with Triple H? I'm staying on this helmet. Y'all must have forgot about Mr. ACH. Matter of fact, speaking of which, I seen some circus clown the other day talking about ACH fumbled the bag because of a misinterpretation about the shirt. Stop it. See, this is why I say dealing with some of these buck dancers in the IWC, you can't really deal with them because they got the butter biscuits so doggone deep in their nostrils, it don't make no sense. If you don't sit your coon behind down up here cooning, you know dang well there was some white supremacy bull job that H&M came up with. That blackface t-shirt, sit down. And y'all fools want me to get excited about Jade Cargill messing with Triple H with his old geek self, trying extra hard, trying to make it seem like he give a crap about us. Stop it, ladies and gentlemen. Stop it. Stop the cap. This is why I'm not getting my hopes up. I ain't. So you fools that was like, oh man, this is gonna be fantastic. No, you can't trust H&M. You can't. You can't trust H. Unfortunately, you can't trust Michaels. We already know you can't trust Vince and them. So what you getting your hopes up for? But like I say, when you dealing with these clowns in the IWC, okay. So then we got the tag team championship match. Austin Theory, Grayson Waller versus Cody Rhodes and Jey Uso. Crowd goes nuts. They go crazy. I still think this is one of the weirdest tag teams I've ever seen. I get why they did it, because this is just a way for Cody Rhodes to quote unquote get closer to Roman, because that's exactly what happened after the matchup. The matchup, I've seen better. It really didn't do nothing for me. Cody and Jay get the victory, and right as they were getting ready to leave, right as they were getting ready to. Oh, and by the way, I forgot to talk about it. When Kevin Owens came out, he laid out Dominic. As if we didn't see that match 15,000 times when him and Sami Zayn were tagged up going against the Judge today. Same old, ladies and gentlemen. Right after this matchup, here comes Roman, here comes Solo, here comes Jimmy. They walked out. They all looked at each other, and I said, well, ladies and gentlemen, Roman versus Cody Part 2 is bound to happen. Now, I'm going to be honest with you. The stare down between everybody, I thought this was pretty solid. I thought this made effect. This might have been my favorite part of the whole show. I was like, here, all right, cool. We finally get somewhere. I said, I've been waiting. And just that stare down right there, I said, okay, the connection has started. It started. Now, we still need to know, because remember, everybody thought Cody was the one that was getting drafted over to SmackDown. No. So how does Cody get to Roman for a second time? Not only is the tag team titles going to do it, I'm trying to tell y'all, the Elimination Chamber is how Cody's going to get there. He ain't winning the Royal Rumble. Triple H and Vince with them will be idiots if Cody Rhodes wins the Royal Rumble again. Because if he wins the Royal Rumble again, I ain't going to give a crap about it. The only way I can care about this is if Cody somehow loses the Royal Rumble, but he gets his opportunity in the Elimination Chamber. That is the only way I can accept Part 2. The only way. If Cody wins the Royal Rumble for a second time in a row, it's over, ladies and gentlemen. I could care less about the matchup. I'm already telling you Cody's going to win. I could care less. It's over. The whole storyline is a waste of time. It's done. The only saving grace for this story is for Cody to be this close to winning the Royal Rumble, but he comes up short. So now you have to ask yourself, how does he get there? The Elimination Chamber story is sitting right there. That's the best way to tell to help us get to Part 2. That is the great way to do it. Winning the Royal Rumble for a second time is one of the most lazy, lethargic, trash ways I've ever seen. Don't you dare do it. Triple H, Vince, whoever else in the back, all you circus clowns that's listening to me right now, don't you dare do it. Cody Rhodes winning the Elimination Chamber, which will be for the fools that did not win in the Royal Rumble. You got 3 from Raw, 3 from SmackDown. Whoever wins it, that's how we get Cody and Roman Part 2. Ain't that difficult? So, now we got LA Knight Solo. It was okay. Listen, ladies and gentlemen, I gotta be 100%. I got to be 100%. I've been watching LA Knight for a little bit, and I'm gonna be 100% with y'all. This is no knock against the brother. LA Knight is a good dude. The man is over. Like a mug, but man, in ring work, it's kind of been slacking as of late. Ever since the match he had with Sheamus, man, I just ain't been feeling LA Knight in the ring, y'all, and that's a shame, because I've been on the LA Knight bandwagon for a long time, and now watching this matchup with Solo, I said, oh man, I'm done noticing something. I have not been feeling LA Knight matches as of late. I have not. And this is no knock against the man. This ain't no knock against Solo. I mean, it was a decent match, but y'all, I have not been feeling LA Knight's matches, and I'm like, I don't know what happened. It's like ever since he got in there with Sheamus right before they went into SummerSlam, or as I call it, Summer Joke. I don't know. It just feel like LA Knight matches ain't just been hitting. You would think the match he had with Fruity Pebbles, it's just not hitting. Now here's the deal, ladies and gentlemen. Him versus Roman and Crown Jewel, it might be decent. It might. Because you know how Roman do. Roman is a great storyteller. Roman may not be the best in the ring, but he is an excellent storyteller. And that's what makes matches great. When you have great chemistry and you can tell a story. LA Knight knows how to do that as well. But I mean, I'm gonna be 100%. I watched that match, y'all, and I was like, oh no. I said, I was like, man. I said, I ain't feeling it. I said, man, I'm like, what is going on? Because I'm like, man, I was on the bandwagon, but. And the fact that Roman told that man, I don't even know who you are and all this stuff, I'm like, man. I don't know, y'all. I don't know, because LA Knight, like I said, I don't know. It just seemed like ever since he got in the ring with Sheamus, everything just went downhill. Everything went downhill for LA Knight. People say, well, but he was getting the push. He's getting the push, but as he's getting the push, you got to get better in that. Let me tell y'all something, man. When it comes to wrestling, you got to have everything for me. You got to have the character work, you got to have the promo work, and you got to be good in the ring. Sometimes cats can get away if you have 50% in the ring and you 50 on the mic, and you somehow can make it work, then I'm with you. But as a late man, LA Knight has been fantastic with the character work, fantastic on the mic, over with the fans like a mug. But when it comes to in-ring work, man, LA Knight's starting to look like just one of them. He's starting to look like everybody else, man. And that's not good, man. That ain't good. Now, hopefully the storyline that they get ready to tell between him and Roman as we move on, because after he won the match, so this is what happened. So going into the matchup, you had Jimmy come out of nowhere. Then Fruity Pebbles came out of nowhere, took Jimmy out. And then LA Knight did his move on Solo, and then LA gets the win. And right after he get the win, Roman came out of nowhere and he speared him. So if you want to say that's to be continued, great. But, man, I don't know, y'all. I don't know. Some of y'all might be upset with me. Some of y'all LA Knight fans are going to be like, oh, man. I'm like, no, I'm just telling you both face truth. I'm sorry, man. I watched the man, and I was like, man, I don't know. It seemed like ever since Summer Joke, LA Knight been falling off in the ring for me, man. It's not character-wise and promos and all of that. That's great. But in-ring work, I don't know. In-ring work, it just ain't been doing nothing for me, man. But like I said, overall, Smackdown was definitely better than last week. 100% better. It still wasn't the greatest episode. It was decent. It was a tolerable show. Anytime this clown pulls up, you know SmackDown about to be off the chain somewhat. The man is back. He's here. Season premieres, what they say. Nick Aldis is the new GM. Jade is on the show, more than likely to get squashed by Charlotte. The Make-A-Wish Street Profits and Bobby Lashley squad ain't going to do nothing for me. Carlito's going to beat Bobby next week. Charlotte's going to beat Io next week, and I believe it's going to be due to Bayley. The story sets itself up. That's that. And Cody and Jay, going to Raw to go against Judgment Day. I'm not feeling the tag team at all. I'm not. But I get it. I get why they are together. I'm just not feeling the tag team. Because I told you, for me, the real tag team is Sami Zayn and Jey Uso. That, to me, that's the real tag team. If you really want to put two clowns together, Sammy and Jay are the real tag team. Not no freaking Cody and Jay. Now, Cody should be going up against single folk, working his way to where he needs to be. And that is going after this circus clown right here. But no, this fool is with Jay trying to be a tag team champ because he quote unquote couldn't finish the story. So they say, let's slap the tag team titles on him. It's some random thing. All right, so let's talk about it. Let's talk about Rampage. Now, again, Tony Khan, this fool was online having one of the biggest meltdowns. I mean, just a clown. But you know what? Rampage, solid night. I can tell you this. I still need some story that makes sense. And like I said, fools wrestling each other should not just be wrestling each other for nothing. They actually told a little something with Jey Uso versus Trent Beretta, which I'll talk about in a minute. And then out of nowhere, it was announced online. I wish they could have told us why it's going to happen. But again, all this fool sometimes know how to do is just put clowns together. Like, he ain't really trying to tell a story. And he'll say, but the match is the story. That's the story. No, clown, that's not the story. Then you wonder how come you be allowing WWE Hardcore Shields to be living rent free in your head. Because, bro, let's look at some of us who are wrestling fans. I'm a wrestling fan, which means I'm a fan of WWE and I'm a fan of AEW. I'm a fan of Impact. Oh, and speaking of Impact, I did do an Impact review. Impact, it was okay. I think last week was just a little bit better. But we got a whole lot of matches that's made for Bound for Glory. And salute to everybody that's going down there. That's going to be right around the corner from me for Bound for Glory. Sound like the place sold out. Great. Kudos to them. But Bound for Glory car do look solid. It look like a pretty solid car. So guess what? Your man will be reviewing Bound for Glory. I will do a review. You're going to get a review from me from Bound for Glory, so I'll be reviewing Bound for Glory, and then I'll be doing Collision. So it's 2 reviews you'll be getting on next Saturday, if I'm not mistaken. Is it Saturday? Yeah, next Saturday. So let's go ahead and talk about Rampage. So, trios match. Now, I wish this trios match meant something. I'm like, okay, cats, don't just wrestle each other. You in the trios, how about y'all keep this up and maybe you get a potential shot against the trios champion? That's what I'm basically like saying. If you're having single matches, if you're having tag team matches, make this mean something. So, okay, you keep going up in the ranks and then this potentially allow you to actually get a title shot against somebody. If you want to build a story or something like that, that's what you would do. But having these random matches that don't mean nothing, I'm like, why should we give a crap? Why? Why the clown should we care? We shouldn't. Because Tony Khan, you telling us not to care. You telling us, but it's great wrestling. That's what it is. We're wrestling. No, son. It's about the look. I talk about presentation with us. I talk about presentation, period. Presentation should be the number one goal with wrestling promoters, period. Regardless of race, regardless of what they believe, presentation should be the number one thing that engulfs us in. Story, background, character work, that should be the number one thing on a wrestling promoter's mind. But if it's not, you just doing anything. So this whole situation, DG seems to be the outcast because Daddy Magic, Angela Parker, and Jake Hager. It's Jake Hager. Now, here's the deal. They beat the brakes off of the Hardys and Brother Zay. I feel so bad for this man. Like, I'm telling y'all, ever since the first episode, him and Mark Quan got over, and ever since then, they've been jokes. And where the heck is Mark Quan at? Or Quinn. Where's Mark Quinn at? Where he at? He been gone. I feel like he been gone for like almost 2 years now. Private Party was over, and then they nothing. Now this fool stuck with these clowns looking like clowns. DG, Daddy Magic, and Angela Parker beat them. So right after that, DG started doing his dance, but Daddy Magic got it to him and told him to cut that mess out. So obviously, like I said, he got beef with him. Obviously, you know. So then we get a backstage segment. You had Penta talking in the background with Renee. Here come the Bullet Club Gold coming out of nowhere. Talking about, hey, you are, Zero Fear, right? Well, I'm holding Jay White's title, and you're going to have an opportunity to go against me on Dynamite. But he said, you are a thief, and I'm going to beat the brakes off of you or something like that. You know what I mean? So, again, let me tell you what Tony Khan do. Tony Khan, this is what he does. He puts the matches together, and so he'll try to have like a backstage segment after he put the match together and make you actually want to care about it. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm pretty sure Penta and Jay going to give us a classic on Wednesday night, but I just wish things would matter. I wish, like, when you putting clowns together, I just want stuff that makes sense. Now, the match, I'm pretty sure it's going to be a solid matchup, but right now, I personally believe Juice and the Gun should be focusing on potentially trying to get those trios titles. That should be their number one goal, because obviously Jay White is the fake champion right now. That's what he's doing. He run around parading with MJF's belt as if he the man or something, which he ain't won nothing. Meanwhile, his boys have absolutely nothing right now. I say the number one thing should be on their mind. Hey, we need to win the trios titles. The trios titles are a complete joke right now. Oh, shoot, we need to win them. And so now the fact that MJF is more than likely going to have to get their services to help him out, the story sets itself up. I feel like I need to be in there helping TK book this stuff. Shoot. So Renee, right after that, we had Renee talking with Danny Magic and the crew, and he started going at DG, talk about you need to cut that dancing out. So then you had Jeff, and you had Angela Parker, and you had Jake Hager basically telling him to calm down and all this stuff. He said no, he need to calm down, and so he walked off. So more than likely, this is the beginning of Garcia getting kicked out, because I believe that's what's gonna happen. I personally believe they're going to end up kicking Garcia out. So then we get here, Jay Lethal versus Trent Beretta, and they mentioned that this is the beginning of Jay Lethal's rise to potentially going after the Ring of Honor World Heavyweight Champion. I'm like, it's about time that they start doing something with Jay, because hanging out with Mr. Memphis mid-card piece of crap, his wife Sanjay Dutt, Satnam Singh, and them clowns has turned him into a joke. He's been a joke hanging out with them. A joke. I'm like, we shouldn't even be seeing Jeff Jarrett. Jeff Jarrett had told us that if he lost to Mark Briscoe, he could never wrestle on AEW television again. Where the heck? Why did TK go against that? See, I'm telling y'all right now. I'm telling you right now. The only reason why he went against it is because I guarantee you, he caught Tony Khan doing some stuff he has no business doing. He told him, hey man, listen, you want me to not wrestle again? I know your secret. I work for you. I've caught you in action. I know what you do. If you make me not wrestle again, guess what I'm going to do? I'm going to go to TMZ and tell the world what you do behind closed doors. I'm telling y'all, don't nobody give a crap about seeing Jeff Jarrett on TV. I mean, they was clowning. You got Sanjay Dutt getting kicked and he's selling, and you talk about overselling. Then you got Karen Angle, she just turned 51. Happy birthday to her. I said Karen Angle. Karen Jarrett. Man, I keep calling her Karen Angle because y'all know she used to be married to Kurt Angle. Karen Jarrett she just celebrated 51 years, so God bless her. Kudos to her. Sad not seen trying to do a little something, and I mean, so Chucky T really ain't had nobody to help. I mean, Chucky T, Tremperella really ain't had nobody to help him, but then Chucky T came out of nowhere to try to even the odds. But outside of the shenanigans, I personally think that Jay versus Tremperella might be the best match on Rampage, regardless of the garbage shenanigans that these clowns was out there doing. I thought these two had great chemistry. Now, with Trent constantly losing like crazy, I don't know what you do with him and Chucky T. I absolutely don't. Listen, before Orange Cassidy won the international championship for the second time, I was thinking maybe they could have set up a program where the best friends turn on him, but it looks like he's going to turn on the best friends because this title has went to his head. And I'm like, I need them to be in something that's important instead of just looking like jokes, because Trent and Chucky have turned into enhancement talent. That's all they are. They are AEW's enhancement talent. They seem to lose the most matches out of everybody in AEW, especially Trent. Every time Trent on TV, especially when he wrestling on Rampage, he losing all the time. Man, I like Trent. Trent is a good wrestler. And when you put him and Jay together, Jay is a solid wrestler in his own. You put the two of them together, they out there trying to make things work. But like I said, they out here trying to wrestle when you got Sanjay Dutt overselling, Karen Jarrett trying to do stupid stuff, Jeff Jarrett trying to do stupid stuff, but Jay got the victory, so this is his rise to potentially going after Eddie Kingston. So what I would do, I would keep him winning, keep Jay winning, keep him winning until it's time for him to go against Eddie Kingston. Now, my favorite part of the entire night, I had tweeted on Twitter, I had said this, or X-Corp, or whatever you want to call it. Ortiz and Santana basically talked about what's really going on. They brought their real life beef onto the screen. And when you got real life beef and you decide to do business with one another, it makes for the best feuds in wrestling. They both talked about why they're upset with each other. Santana saying Ortiz left him behind while he was getting surgery on his knee, and Ortiz said that he was trying his best to help Santana up, but Santana always was looking at him and holding him back. And listen, they blamed each other, and then they came and got into each other's face. I said, I asked, how in the world is this not on Collision of Dynamite? How the heck are you putting this beef on Rampage of all shows? This deserves to be on one of the main shows. This deserves to either be on Saturday night, or to be told on Saturday night, or to be told on Wednesday night. The back and forth, the fact that they was in front of each other's face, that they gonna end each other, and all of that. I say, I feel the realization of it. I feel it. I'm like, well, how the heck is this foolishness stuck on Rampage? This is, you should put this on Dynamite or Collision. I like the story. I like the back and forth. You can feel the energy between them. You know, you feel it. You see it. I said, how is this being told on Rampage of all shows? How? This deserves to be presented on Dynamite or Collision. That's how good it is. Listen, if you ain't even bother watching Rampage, go to their YouTube channel, type in Ortiz and Santana confront each other backstage, and you watch that segment, and you tell me if you didn't like it or not. This was a powerful segment. I was like, how is this being presented on Rampage? I'm like, what the heck is wrong with Tony Khan? This should be, and ladies and gentlemen, you know how everybody say, well, Tony Khan really does not know how to have a feud that's not connected with the title. This is not connected to any championship. This is a real life feud that's being spreaded on TV. I say, this is how you do it. When you're not dealing with the titles, but you got legit beef against one another, and you are bringing it to TV, I say, this should be presented on Dynamite or Collision. But no, we decided to throw this on Rampage. So we get Sky Blue versus Emi Sakura. Now, ladies and gentlemen, let me tell y'all something. You want to know how I feel like Emi Sakura has been getting old left and right? You know that she and Paige, or my bad, Soraya, have been beefing online, going back and forth. I was like, well, don't you think you could have saved Soraya from losing the title? You could have set up Emi Sakura versus Soraya. Let them get that match out the way so then you can do her and Sheeta some other time. You know what I'm saying? Nope. They had Emi Sakura and Sky Blue give us a pretty solid women's match. But finally, after 18 million years, Sky Blue finally got a victory. Now, as you were watching, you heard Excalibur and them say, look at Sky Blue's face. That mist that got blown in her face is starting to change her outlook. Makeup is changing. She's changing left and right. So then out of nowhere on Twitter, they announced that Sky Blue was going against Chris. I say, why is we getting it now? I'm like, Tony Khan, don't you think you can save this for Full Gear by telling a freaking story? Just have Sky get wins left and right. Build her up as she becomes a credible foe for Chris. Build her up. We and the Sky Blue fandom want Sky Blue to look like somebody that's serious, a serious threat to the title. Her beating Emi Sakura don't mean nothing. It doesn't garner her a title shot. That's not how it should be. Sky Blue should be going against somebody else tomorrow night on Collision. And you can have Chris sitting out there and you can say, you know, Sky Blue's my sister, but I noticed ever since she got the mist spit in her face, she's starting to change, and I don't really like it. Put that out there. Put some emphasis or something. Don't just like, oh, we're going to do Sky Blue and Chris for the TBS title. No. That's TK's problem, y'all. This problem is this fool just knows how to book matches. He don't know how to tell a story. He can when he wants to, but he shows his weakness, and I'm like, bro, this is when you bring minds that know how to tell a story and to help you book. When you don't know what you're doing because all you is just a spoiled brat with money, because that's all he is. I mean, he's a 41 grown child, man child, crying online, acting a complete fool, and basically letting his enemies know that they got him. You letting WWE and the WWE Shields know that they defeated you. That's not how you do it. You the one who was bragging, talking about we gonna do this, we gonna do all this, and here you are crying. Been crying for the last 3 days straight. But here you are booking this match right here. I'm like, why? No, Sky should not be going up for the TBS title right now. What they should be doing with Sky should be getting wins week in, week out. She should be getting wins on Rampage. She should be getting wins on Collision, and she should be getting wins on Dynamite, leading up to the matchup at Full Gear. We're going to have 2 women's matches at Full Gear. We're going to have the AEW women's title on the line, and we're going to have the TBS title on the line. So build up to it. Don't give it away for free TV, because that's what he does. Look, the only time I say you get something away on free TV is if a storyline has been built up and somebody's like, okay, I'm gunning for this right now, so you know what, we're going to do this on TV. Just like I understand Brian versus Christian on free TV. You know what? I ain't got a problem with it. Now, I'm going to be honest with you, but I thought about it. I said, no, you got Adam Copeland sitting right there. You know what that's going to lead up to. You know what it's going to lead up to. But I'm like, it has layers. It somewhat has layers. This really don't have layers. I get it. People say, well, she been tight with her for. I get it. You want to build Sky up. Sky needs to get reasonable wins on Collision, Dynamite, Rampage, give her those victories so she feels like a credible foe. Why do you think Julia Hart felt like a credible foe going into Wrestle Dream? Because they acknowledged that she has defeated 27 people. They acknowledged it. They acknowledged that, and she's been getting reasonable wins. So you understand, okay, she deserves to be the number one contender for the TBS title. And guess what? They gave us a solid matchup. Now she's out because she and, speaking of which, congratulations to Big Shotty Lee and Julia Hart. I pray for their marriage. I pray that, they have a successful marriage, and if they want to have kids and all of that, I pray for them right now. So obviously they're gonna be out, and I've seen pictures because Captain Sean Dean was one of Big Shotty Lee's best men. Congratulations to them. But I'm like, I think we rushing this. I'm like, I wouldn't do it right now. I would set this up at Full Gear. I would build up to it. Get Sky victories and have Sky start acting weird. And then like Chris can be like, yo, what's wrong with you? Like, you're not the same Sky Blue that I once known. And then this one, Sky Blue can eventually snap because she's been getting victories. She's been doing what she needs to do. And then boom, she snaps on it and say, look here, look, I'm not going to curse. Look here, you witch. Check this out. I've been your so-called best friend, but guess what? The only reason why you've been holding on to that thing is because I done had your back. But guess what? I'm coming for your championship, and I'm going to beat you at Full Gear. Set it up. It's not that difficult. No, but you online arguing with WWE shoes that can't shine your shoes. Goofy. So we get Mark Henry main event. A decent main event. Again, you're having these matches. This is a tag team match. This should be for the rankings. Since these are Ring of Honor cats, how about you say this is for a potential shot, a future shot at the Ring of Honor Tag Team Championships. Put emphasis on it. I mean, it's not that difficult. Why are they wrestling? I get it. I know why they wrestling because they beefing. Bryan Danielson's boys is beefing with Swerve's boys. I get why the match happened, but it should also have another stipulation or something. These cats are wrestling each other because there's a potential tag team title shot on the line or something. Put emphasis on it. I don't just want to see clowns wrestle each other just because. I don't move like that, ladies and gentlemen. Listen, I might be an AEW head through and through, but I don't move like most AEW shields that love this company. Because all they want to see is just good wrestling. They're not interested in those stories. They're not interested in character development and everything. Obviously, Swerve's boys had to get jumped. Claudio and Willow won. Gates of Agony, they really didn't do anything. But like I said, it was somewhat decent match. But overall, ladies and gentlemen, I thought Friday night it was a decent night of wrestling, decent night of storytelling. It could have been a whole lot better between both shows. But that I really don't really have anything else to say. I will be here for Collision. More than likely, I won't be home watching the live, so more than likely, just like how it is right now, you're going to get it super late. Come in, I'm watching, I'll give you an honest review about Collision. So y'all already know what to do. If you're new to the channel, feel free to subscribe. Make sure you hit the like button and leave a comment on what you thought about everything. Are you excited about what's transpiring in WWE land? Are you excited about the new regime taking over Smackdown with Nick Aldis? Are you excited about what's going on in AEW land? How do you feel about Tony Khan's situation? I want y'all to go in the comment sections like y'all do. I've been appreciating the feedback. I've been getting a whole lot of comment sections from a whole lot of cats, especially on my controversial videos about the situation that happened earlier this week with Juice Robinson and MJF and them. Hey, keep the feedback going. Keep the comments going. Hit the like button, and I'll talk to y'all cats later. Holla at your boy.